This episode of Rated T&T is brought to you by Beyond the Screen Events and Entertainment. Spring has in fact sprung, and we have the perfect event for you and your fandom friend group.
Screen Break, the pilot episode, is coming to downtown Atlanta, Georgia, April 10th through the 12th.
If you're a fan of shows like Heated Rivalry, 911, 911 Lone Star, Teen Wolf, Once Upon a Time, The Originals, or Pretty Little Liars, this one is absolutely for you.
If you're in Atlanta, near Atlanta, or just willing to make the drive to Atlanta for a weekend of fandom fun, you do not want to miss this. Head to the link in the description for tickets and more information on the many panels, photo ops, talent meet and greets, and so much more.
We'll
We'll
see
see
you
you
there.
there. Welcome back to another episode of Rated T&T, the show where we talk about TV, movies, music, fandom, fanfics, and everything in between. I'm Tim. That's Kay. Thank you all
Hey.
so much for being here. And today we have a very special guest joining us for what I know is going to be a super fun conversation. Rachel, or you may know her as Rachel Makes Movies, in parentheses, and TV. I love when you add that to your videos. Thank you so much for being here. I don't know how people would be unfamiliar with you, but TikTok is a massive place. So can you tell the audience who you are and what it is that you do?
Yeah. Hi, my name is Rachel. I talk about movies and TV and music and generally everything pop culture entertainment.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you so much for being here. We are so excited to have you and talk all things media. So we are going to jump right into segment one, press play with our special guest, Rachel. My brain is moving at a million miles a minute. So I can already tell that this conversation is going all over the place. But I also, because you just have so many interests, like from music to movies to TV, like we have so many like shows and fandoms in common. But the first thing that I need to ask you is about Could Be Love by Pool House.
Yeah.
How did that happen? What made you post that video? Like, what was it like to actually get their attention and then work with them?
Yeah. Honestly, I still process it. Like I had a moment like 2 days ago where I was like, I went to Utah. That was a thing that actually happened and it's like real. But back middle of last year, I was scrolling through TikTok and I saw this video of this band who was doing a snippet of their song and I'm like, "Oh, this sounds good." I'm like almost all the way in. I don't know what's like up, but I keep scrolling and I'm just gonna move on. But like later throughout the night it was like back in my mind, why can't I let this go? So I'm like, "Okay, well let me just like go listen to the whole thing." I listened to the whole thing and I'm still like I'm still not all the way there. Okay. So then my brain likes to do that thing where it's like, if I do this and I put this here and that goes there, then maybe I'll like actually listen to it. So that's what I did. I got the song and I put it into like a music editor thing and I switched things around and I listened to it and I'm like, oh, that sounds good. I like this. And that's where I was going to leave it. But then I was like, should I say something? I'm going to say something. So because at that point, my channel was like pretty small. I was like, nobody's gonna hear this. The movies that I'm like talking about, I talk about movies and sometimes music and like everything else. This is like so out of the radar of what I'm doing that like it's not gonna reach anything. So I'm just like, I'm just gonna say what's on my mind and then I'm gonna move on. So I put up the video, say everything. This is what I did. Here's how it sounds now. Do you agree? Yay. And I'm just gonna move on. And TikTok decided that that was the one that it was going to send off into all of the known universe. So that
Excellent.
got
It
out.
always do.
Always does, every time. It did that, and it eventually got back to the band. And after a couple of days, they were like, "Hey, we actually think that we're going to do this." And they did. They ended up doing it. And then after that, they were like, "Hey, do you want to come to Utah? We will fly you out here so that you can listen to the song with us and everything, and we'll hang out for the day." And I'm like, "Huh? Sure.
Like this,
Okay.
this
Yeah." let's do that. So they fly me out. I listen to it. I get to see Utah for the first time ever and these beautiful places and the song is awesome and they're cool people. And yeah, I came back home and I'm still going. I think I went to Utah. I think that actually happened. Yeah, that actually happened like however many months later. But yeah, fun
That's so
experience.
cool. I'm glad that they were cool because
Yeah.
like people can be so critical of like their art and
Yes.
stuff, you know, like and rightfully so, right? Like you put a lot of time and effort and energy into
Yeah.
creating things that you do. So like I'm really glad that they were like, oh, this actually sounds great, you know, like sounds better than
Yeah.
what we had going on because they definitely could have not been. And I feel like that would
Yeah.
have really ruined the whole experience for you.
Yeah. I'm glad too, because it's like you said, like we're artists, we're like real we're here about our stuff. So whenever anybody's like any kind of criticism that even sounds kind of like that's what you should have done instead, it's like it sucks. But I'm glad that they were like, no, actually, yeah, let's try it, let's do it, and let's see if we like it. So it worked out. It worked out.
Have you done anything else with them? Do you think you would?
I was just about to ask that.
No, I didn't, haven't. I like check in on them and everything with social media, but I haven't done like any extra songs or anything.
Did they retitle the song? Is it called like Rachel's version?
Yeah, they retitled Could Be Love Rachel's version. And I'm like, yeah, that's nice. I like that.
That's so cool. I saw the little promo that you all made for it with the CD. I was like, oh, that was so cute.
Thank you.
That was so well done. Like, I don't know whose idea it was, but it was so well done.
Nine.
I loved
Period.
it.
Because
I
Yep.
loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. It was so well done.
Thank you.
as creators, we get on here and don't really think that like I know for me personally, when I'm putting out content, I don't think it's gonna go anywhere. I'm just like, oh, I'm talking to the 30 people that frequent my page, yada yada yada. So I was wondering how it felt for not only this video to get the attention of the band, but also to be flown out, like what was going through your mind when it was happening, and then also, has any other opportunities like that come to you, or has that been the only one so far?
Yeah. I have had other offers for things. Mostly it was when it was happening that people were like, "Hey, listen to my thing, listen to my thing." I haven't done that since because I'm like I feel like that was going to be a one-off event,
Yeah.
honestly. At least the way that I did it there. But mostly everything else is like, "Hey, have you listened to these people?" And that's like where everything goes now and it connects me to music. But while it was happening, it was mostly like yeah, like you said, it's weird because you catch an audience and all of the things that they say to do on TikTok is like just find your audience, find your niche, and you'll be able to do those things. But it's like you find your audience and then TikTok has a way of just keeping you in that vein. So anything that you go outside of, it feels like it's just gonna keep you in forever and like choose your thing first and maybe you got it right, hopefully like a year down the line. But it's more just like I don't know. I find that things go a lot better when I just kind of figure out what the thing is that I can't like get out of my head and do that thing. And those are the things that like help to get things out of there. What is that? What am I trying to say with things? That's the thing that usually like goes because it's honest and people can kind of think that. And when you're like even when you're like trying a little too hard with yourself, like, oh, I have to talk about this thing, it doesn't go anywhere. And then the things where you're like having an honest reaction, that's where it's like the stuff that goes out. So yeah, try to keep it there.
Yeah, I can wholeheartedly agree because for the most part, with my content, it's kind of the same. It's whatever I pick up, and it's just something completely honest, or like I got a bonnet on my head, and I'm just saying something like off the wall, and it's the one that that TikTok ends up pushing. But I do think that it has a lot to do with like honesty and being like transparent for the things that you're interested in, and not just something that you feel like you have to do to curate this certain image on your platform.
Yeah.
I think especially for the niche that we sort of frequent, like that media TV space, like
Yeah.
people are more inclined to be drawn to a random reaction to something
Yeah.
as opposed to like the scripted cut here slice here like influencer type stuff that we see on
Yeah.
TikTok. Like I know that's what I sort of gravitate towards, like when I just see somebody let me tell you about X, Y, and Z. And that's not to say that there is no place and space for the other content. Clearly there is, but like I think specifically for this niche, like that type of content typically performs really well because people feel drawn to it. I I didn't mean for this to be like interview style. It was meant to be conversational, but I
Conversation.
but
Yeah.
now that we're here, I'm like, there's just so much stuff that I want to know about you. Tell me about Dragonfly.
Yeah.
Where did that
So
come from? Where did the inspiration for that come from? Like, tell me all about it.
yeah. So I have a web series called Dragonfly, and it came out almost a year ago. Next month it'll be a year that the first episode dropped. And it's about a woman in her mid-20s who decides that she's going to end her life after 24 hours. So the show is tracking her through that day, like hour by hour. And most of it was feelings that I had. I've had depressive thoughts, suicidal thoughts, um, and found a way to like make it out of there, get out of there. But it's like it's a rolling thing. It's something that you just kind of have to live with for however long. But with that show specifically, I wanted to put her in a place where she had been through it and she was like on an up incline and was kind of plateauing and wasn't really sure what to do afterwards because I feel like that's a place with depression that we really don't figure out afterwards. It's kind of just like you have it or you don't. And that's kind of where it ends. There really is no in between, but it's like, but I'm still here and I still have to live with things. And how am I supposed to do that when I know that I was just in a place where I was not going to be here? So it's getting her story and like figuring her out through that kind of a decision that has all those kind of minefields associated with it. But I just really wanted one to make a longer project because usually I just make a lot of shorter projects. And also, I just really needed to get it out. Like, me and the whole production crew, like people that I've been making stuff with for the past like 3 or 4 years, just like figured out how to make what is essentially like 30 minutes worth of stuff within like 4 days, which is insane. And everybody was really on it and everybody really got it. And I think it ended up being, it ended up just being really, really good. And I'm really proud of it and really proud of everybody who was part of it. And what the shit? Okay. Um, I'm sorry, I haven't thought about it in a few months.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm just really proud of it and everybody that worked on it.
What I've seen of it, it was a really, really good project. Um, Especially considering like it is so personal to you.
Yeah.
It was a very well done story. Um, are you planning to continue it or extend that series at all into anything else?
No, I wrote it to be limited, just contained story, just to kind of get that point of it out. It actually is like kind of a little different than the stuff that I make anyway. It really is more like it really just focuses on a lot of like the really hard feelings. Usually when I make things, um, they're happy and bright and colorful and like more like hopeful world type of things. So this was really like one of the first things where it was like, oh, I'm really like sitting in a feeling that's very grounded and just a little bittersweet and kind of scary. So, yeah.
I don't have a question for that, but I will just say thank you for creating it and also putting it out there because I know it's very personal to you. And I know you said you haven't thought about it in a while, but I do think it was a very important um, topic to handle and also to put out there. Even with it being very different from what you typically do or usually do, I do think it was very important. So thank you for going that personal and bringing us into that space with you because I think a lot of people could relate to it.
Yeah. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
How did you, and this will be the last question about Dragonfly Flight. We'll move on. How did you decide on the medium? How did you decide on like web series as opposed to like a book or a blog post or something of that sort?
Yeah. Um, Mostly, I don't know. I knew that I didn't want it to be a whole short film. That didn't feel right. When I was writing it, it was coming out episodic anyway, but I'm like, this doesn't feel like a full series and it doesn't feel like a long limited series. So it just feels like the best format for this is a web series and like a couple of steps above like uh TikTok scroll like series like those as well. Like it's a little bit longer than that. So web series just kind of felt like the right thing to do, like the right click. Was that the one question that you asked? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
Hmm.
basically that. Also with like film, I just love I'm weird about this, but it's like I just love the idea of like a camera. There's really no other medium where you literally have somebody who has replicated an eye and has the ability to record everything as you're seeing it right now, and other people can see it exactly as you're seeing it right in the moment. So it's like with that in mind and how many other things, it's like I could do a book, but I'm like, even when I talk, I sound like, oh, that sounds like it would have been a movie or like a show. Or when I'm like, I don't really write a lot of blog posts, it doesn't feel like
Mhm.
something that like connects me with my brain. Like when I sit down and write things, they still feel like you're sitting there watching it. So I just have to like sit things down and get people to actually watch it. I'm like, look at my eye, take my eyes, and like actually look at what I'm looking at. I need you to see the world exactly the way that I'm seeing it right now. So
Hmm.
that's what I like about that.
We're gonna have to connect after this because we have been looking for camera recommendations, and I need to know what everybody else is
Actually.
using. Need to know
Well,
what
that's the
everybody else
other
is
thing.
using.
I can't give you a full camera recommendation. I can just say like that I like cameras, but like I
Okay.
can see the eye. But I have people that I can connect you to that actually
Okay.
know about actual camera
Okay.
stuff.
Because we've been looking. We've been
We could
looking.
use that
Yeah.
actually. We could use that actually.
So you like a lot of shows, movies,
Yeah.
wide variety of interests, shows, movies, music, all of that. Do you feel like, or I guess the question is, how has your consumption of media impacted how you create as a filmmaker, if at all?
Yeah. Absolutely. Completely and totally. Like I grew up as a Disney kid,
Mhm.
so literally most of my life is like just through that lens, right? I'm like I love the idea of like the world is fun and colorful and everything has music in it all the time. Like I just love the idea of movies that have like the perfect soundtracks and TV shows that have like the perfect amount of seasons and like magic casts and like just I don't know. Like you feel the difference. Like there's a real difference from when you're watching things that like feel good and like are good and the difference between things that just feel like someone just kind of threw them out there and made that. Like this stuff is our culture. We see the world through this stuff. So when they get it right, they get it so right that it sticks with you forever. And when they don't, it just like pisses me off. So it's like if we're gonna make it, like make it. Like it doesn't have to be the most perfect thing in the world, but at least make it have some kind of heart to it so that we can stick around and like keep making stuff. You know what I mean?
I know that one of those films that stuck with you is Ice Princess, and I need to know why.
Yeah. So most of it is like the relationships between moms and their daughters. And like just it's like you have moms. These moms are like who are like really incredible moms, have some kind of expectations that are just not terrible, not like super lofty, but definitely like we want our kids to succeed. We didn't have the chance, so we need our kids to succeed kind of thing. So we're going to give them every chance in the world. And it's also just a sports movie, right? Like, especially with Disney specifically, I think we don't give them enough credit for like really involving like girls specifically in sports movies, which I really loved. This wasn't a Disney Channel movie, but it was a Disney movie. But just putting that through the lens of like this ice skating movie about this girl who was just like I'm just a science geek. I don't really I'm not beautiful and graceful and but you have these kind of skills that like mesh together to help you figure out not only how to do it but that artistically it is fulfilling you at all. So it's those two things. It's like you have this perfect meld of somebody who is genuinely and truly figuring out who they are. They have expectations on them, and all they really want to do is like figure out how to meld those two without like losing themselves as a person and like stepping into themselves as a person. But Ice Princess itself as just a movie, I just think is really well done. I also just really loved Meg Cabot books as a kid. So like just seeing her stuff on screen is always fun for me to like see and like to like take in. And yeah, and rest in peace to Michelle Trachtenberg
Uh,
because I literally have not been able to watch it since that happened. And I'm like, I still have to.
heartbreak.
I'm gonna try to do it again this year.
Heartbreak. It's so crazy how like the loss of an actor or an actress like can really just take you out of it. Like there are so many things that I just cannot go back to. Grey's Anatomy being one of them now that
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I just can't
Yeah.
do it. Like I can't it's or at least it's gonna take a little time. Like Glee
Yeah.
was one of them too. Like I just cannot go back to it like after certain actors or actresses have passed away.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
about you guys? Have you guys been rewatching anything that's been like that's hit that target?
Hmm. I
Ah, gotcha, huh?
I'm a rewatch. I'm a serial rewatcher.
You
Like
are.
Yeah.
You are.
serial rewatcher. Like I will rewatch something before I watch something new. Um, I this is gonna sound insane.
Mm,
It's nowhere near as like sentimental as the one that you gave. My all-time favorite movie that I could watch any
mm.
day, any minute of my entire life is
Yeah.
Last Holiday by Queen Latifah.
You love the movie.
I love
That
that song.
that is like peak cinema for me. I
I love that
absolutely love
holiday.
that movie. I
Yeah.
love Queen Latifah down, but I specifically love that movie. There is one specific scene in it
Mm.
that every time I watch it, no matter where I'm at, what I'm doing, what mood I'm in, I will always catch myself smiling from ear to ear, and it is when she is jumping off the dam. It
Yeah.
is like just the freedom that she feels, it feels like I'm jumping off the dam. Like I feel exactly what I would imagine her to feel in that moment. And it's it's kind of a sad movie, right? If you really think about it, because she
Yeah.
whole movie she thinks she's gonna die, right?
Yeah.
But I love the idea of like living every day as if you could die tomorrow, right? Like she's like, oh, I feel like I really relate to her in the sense that every day I'm like working and every hour there's something going on, right? And I feel like I spend so much time working that I don't necessarily spend it on anything else. And so I really love that movie because like this situation, no matter how horrible, terrible it was, forced her to live her life, you know, like it put a pause on everything else and sort of put into perspective like what is actually important. And I could watch it any hour of any day. When I tell you I love that movie, I watch it at least once a week, at least once a week.
Love.
Like
It's
that is how
crazy.
much I love that movie. At least, and that's at minimum.
Yeah.
Minimum once a week.
Minimum. It's
Sometimes it's
crazy.
more. Queen
At
Latifah,
minimum,
if you
it's
see this, I love you
crazy.
bad.
Um, I am not a serial rewatcher. I um I watch something and I'll love it down and won't necessarily go back and watch it that much. Now there are a couple of shows that I actually know. I used to rewatch 911 real bad.
Really.
I
I
used
haven't
to,
seen 911.
the first like not season one because season one was
Uh-oh.
terrible, but like seasons like two through probably five were like peak television to me. Like they were great, awesome, love them down. I'll go back and watch them. They had like great emergencies. I love the characters, yada yada yada. Um, but for the most part, there isn't anything else that really that I really go back and watch as much as like Tim watching Last Holiday once a week. Um, I'm a serial. rereader. Like
Mm.
it's gonna be a book or like a story that's gonna take me back every time. Like there's a book, a romance novel that I really love called Terms and Conditions. I'll go back, reread it. And just because I like the main character, female character was black, I liked her story. I could relate to her a lot. And it's also like I really love plants. She also really loved plants. I could relate to her real bad. I'll go back, reread that any time of the day. So I'm not a serial rewatcher, rereader though. That I will. And it's mostly characters I see myself in the same way that you mentioned that you saw yourself in Queen Latifah and like wanting to um enjoy the day and like actually live your life as if every day is the last. I think I can gravitate towards characters that are also doing it because I'm not doing it. And a lot of
Mhm.
the books that I read, they're like going after love or going after this thing that they want and that they don't necessarily have. And I'd be like, actually, maybe you need to try that. Maybe you need to get on that. So yes,
Is that a Jasmine Guillory book?
it's Lauren Asher.
Lauren Asher. Okay.
hmm Which I have not read any other books by her besides the ones in that little series. But yeah, it's Lauren Asher. I have heard of Jasmine Guillory though.
I'm trying to get back into reading. Like my whole thing is like I want to read more, but most of the books that have people who are like my age and my category are like romantasy or like super like spicy novels. And I'm like, can I
Yes.
just get like kind of what I had when I was a kid, but like for my age? Like
Yeah,
just
no.
somewhere in the middle there would be awesome for me. But
It would
yeah.
be great, but like unfortunately there's not much of that. And
Yeah.
it's not much of that at all. I think it's definitely the whole thing right now is romantasy. Everybody's off that real bad. Everybody wants to recreate a certain author and like their success from it. I think everybody's on that. So yeah, I don't think it would be a lot of like picks. At least I haven't seen any myself.
Rachel, you had brought up earlier when you were talking about Disney and like Ice Princess, soundtracks. What is the role of a soundtrack for you in media that you consume, but also in that what you create?
It's like, okay, imagine if Last Holiday
Uh,
didn't have the songs that were associated with it, right? Like it's not the same movie. That's the same thing to me. Like when you get the soundtrack right, you get it very, very right, and it can almost kind of be a little bit invisible, but you feel inherently like something is so, so right about it. If it's wrong, that's the only thing that you're focusing in on. The same way if like any other thing in like the production is just like so completely off that it just completely takes you out of it. Like the music that you're putting into it in a TV show or a movie really just has to like not just fit everything that's going on, but help to like underscore and sometimes even like predict what's going on. Like it has so many roles to what's going on that if it does go wrong, like maybe scrap the project is all that I'm saying. Like like and especially I like them too, just because I like stuff that's pretty eclectic. So music soundtracks are usually that way anyway. They're like a mix of a bunch of different emotions, but they all fit into like the same project. So they have like the same energy to them, but they're not the same thing. And that's the kind of stuff that I really like. But yeah, it's just you can't get the soundtrack wrong, man. If you get it wrong, it's like your emotions are so like completely tied to like what's going on there that it's just like you have to like don't mess with my emotions, man. Like I'm giving you permission for this hour and 30 minutes to mess with my emotions in a good way. Do not mess with them in a bad way. That's all that I'm saying.
Having a good needle drop definitely will like make or break a scene for me. For well, I want to know what movies or films do you think had like perfect music throughout it, or even like TV shows growing up, whatever. But I'm curious to know which ones like you really enjoyed and thought like they hit it on the mark, and actually, what were some that you think didn't either?
is Twilight on the list?
Which one? Which
The
list are you
good list.
talking
The good list.
about? Twilight got it right. Twilight got it very,
Yes,
very right. The first one. The
Yes.
rest of
the
them,
first one.
I don't even want. I consider the first Twilight to be completely separate category from the rest of the Twilight movies.
Fair,
After they got rid of Catherine Hardwicke, they got rid of what is essentially the heart of the franchise.
fair.
So I treat them as completely different entities. But like so like literally yesterday I got the soundtrack CD for Quest for Camelot. That is a
Mhm.
perfect soundtrack for a movie that
Okay.
could have flopped so much harder than it did. It wasn't the best movie in the world, mind you, but it's perfect for what it is because the things that they have come together just enough, right? So like I still love it that way. That's a wonderful soundtrack. Tarzan, Forever a Banger is
Mhm.
absolutely
Yes.
what's going on there. I what you call it? I I'm half and half on the soundtrack for Charlie's Angels, the first Charlie's Angels
Mhm.
movie from the early 2000s. I feel like because they did their job. They did like a good mix of like modern stuff and like mixing it with all the 70s stuff because of everything that they were doing with like the franchise and everything. But I like at least the songs that they made for the soundtrack and then paired them well with songs pair them well with songs that already exist. What else do we got? I hmm I don't know. My brain's gonna have them come in as it's going, but those are the ones that are like at the absolute top of my mind. For ones that are bad, I'm huh. Usually ones that are like from the 2010s kind of can sometimes fall to the wayside, and
Mhm.
that's more of a blanket statement, mostly just because I feel like when they stopped associating like soundtracks and songs with the movies themselves is when things really just like started to drop off, right? Because there was a time where it was like the music was supposed to tie in and that's how you're trying to get everything together. But if you're just kind of throwing songs on there just for the purpose of them to just kind of help sell the movie and not necessarily for them to be part of it and sell the movie, then it's not going to hit. You know what I mean? So it's like yeah, either that or I've just completely blocked them out of my mind because I refuse to have that energy in my life at all. So,
And I can get behind that. I can get
Fair.
yeah,
behind that
yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
What do you think about like a Titanic?
The
Because
soundtrack for Titanic?
now I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember the movie. I do remember Celine Dion hooting and hollering, but I
Hmm.
don't remember the movie.
that's
Hmm.
the one that
Outside
I
of it, I
remember.
don't. That's all I know.
I
Like
don't know any
I
of it.
remember that there was definitely space on that little door, and she should just moved over. But outside of that, like I could not tell you any. Like I couldn't tell you anything about that movie at all. I
Yeah,
remember them standing on the edge of the boat. Something about being painted like a French girl, but all I remember from that movie is Celine Dion. Like
yeah,
that song is forever and always associated with Titanic.
yeah. I mean, same. I'm pretty sure most of it was score and not necessarily songs. Well, no, I'm not going to get into the argument if score or songs or not. But like most of it is like, yeah, this was the theme, right, for the Celine Dion thing, and I'm pretty sure most of it was just like the score that's happening. I don't pay that much attention to scores unless it's like the Pirates of the Caribbean, amazing score, National Treasure, amazing score, made by the same person, probably because they're both produced under Jerry Bruckheimer. But like those I really love. Also, they sound very similar. Listen to them. They're literally like the same thing in different fonts. But when I'm like soundtrack, I mean like the songs and there's lyrics and everything like that, and less like the scores of things happening, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Well, now I need to know the difference. Now,
Between a score and a song.
yes, now I need to know the difference.
Honestly, just that it's like to me, songs are include lyrics. And
Okay.
that's the biggest thing, right? They include lyrics, and they can't go over 7 minutes. And
Hmm.
basically that. Unless it's for a fun reason or it's like a musical, then we get into like different genres there. But it's like, yeah, if it's just like scores are meant to just like just help what's going on visually. Like how do I want to say this? Songs could stand on their own. I don't think that scores could. I think scores always kind of have that you could possibly forget about the score, but if it's not there, you'd notice. But a song, if it's like you'd notice if it was like wrong or in the wrong place or something like that. It's not just to underscore what's happening visually, it's also able to be like, I'm gonna go off into the world and listen to this in my headphones, like that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Got it. Hmm. Since we're on the topic,
Mm.
tell me about Rachel Makes Music. What is that?
Yeah. So, do you mean Rachel makes radio?
Rachel
Yes.
Makes Radio. Yes.
Got you. Cool. So, yeah, that was a direct, mostly I just wanted to get songs out there. Like I was listening to a bunch of different songs and I'm like, I have this one video where it's like, oh, she went and tweaked a song and now it's out there in the world and it exists, but that's not my normal everyday, this is how I want to operate in the world of music way. Like most of what I'm seeing is I see a lot of independent artists and people who should have their songs on the radio and all that kind of stuff on different like social media platforms and like nobody's hearing this stuff unless somebody happens to like run across them or hear them. So that was literally just my way of being like, this is the stuff that I would add to my playlist. Listen to it. It's good. Like go out and just listen to it. I feel like, especially now and with the very small inklings of things that I just learned about how the music industry works, it's like everything can get so buried because there really is less of a chance of you just getting discovered just because, and not necessarily discovered by like a big entity, just like in the world, like word of mouth, like somehow the word got out that like you have these songs and they're there and they're cool. Or it's hard because you don't have like a full album out. Sometimes people just put out just songs, and sometimes the song itself is great. Maybe the rest of this discography isn't awesome, but like this song, listen to it, please. It's like real, like, please come on. So it's just like, it's just that. I was just like, there's so much music out there and it's really, really good, and we should listen to it. And it doesn't have to be from people who have like over 500,000 followers. Like, those are good too, but like the people who are standing right next to you also have really good stuff and we should listen to it. So it's just, it was just that. I really like this stuff, listen to it. You know what I mean?
How often do you put those together?
Put what together?
The playlist. How often do you make them?
It depends. Like I'm working on one right now. I do them in batches of three. I found is like kind of the sweet spot for me. So I'll like I'm matching them up to where like if you were listening to them in one video in a batch, how would they sound together? Do they complement each other? And that kind of stuff. So the last ones that I did like three back to back to back. And that was last month. So by the end of this month, I want to do like one or two more videos to get them out there.
Are these the artists that you're featuring in these playlists? Are they artists just from like your own personal library, or are you actually like going out and trying to find artists and like to curate a style for the playlist?
Going out and finding. And like,
Like and like listening to certain artists, or like, so if I'm looking for a certain vibe for a playlist, or I'm like looking for new artists, are you actually going to like find these artists, or are these artists that you already know of?
no, they're not. They're brand new people. I didn't even know about them like before they got into here. And that's really
Gotcha.
just how much it is. I think I've done, I think twice I've added people who I actually knew beforehand into these, and the rest of them were just like I found them. Like I was scrolling YouTube or like looking at TikTok like everybody else, and it's just like they came across my feed, and I'm like, yes, please, more of this. I will listen to this. Thank you.
I think that's
You have
actually really
so many interests, Rachel. So many interests.
Yeah.
How, for someone who, especially knowing what we know about the TikTok algorithm, right? Like most of the people that engage with your stuff aren't typically people that follow you. It's people on the For You page that have never seen you before.
Yeah.
How would you summarize the content that you make? What is the goal of your page, your content?
I think if it falls under the umbrella of pop culture and entertainment, it's probably something that I'm interested in. Like just things that would have been very popular when we were still doing things that had to do with like monoculture and everything. Like if we all should be looking at it, if it's something that I think should be popular, like that's what I'm like trying to get out there and like talk about. But yeah, usually just things to do with fun things, creative things, the entertainment industry, and then yeah, things like that.
Hmm. You had said earlier, and then we're going to wrap this segment in just a second. You had said earlier about Dragonfly, how that was not your like typical content that you create. What is your typical content that you usually make?
Um, Fun. It's usually a thread of fun and super high, vibrant, colorful things, and like sometimes it can go like around the wheel too, but mostly it's like if it's a story that has a heart to it, that has a heartbeat to it, where you can feel it and you just kind of go like, I sense that something is like familiar and like fun and not really safe, but like comforting in a way that's familiar, that's also able still to talk about real things, but isn't having a nihilistic view about stuff. That's usually the stuff that I'm making.
Okay.
That's a good way to explain it. Yeah, no, no. I think that was a very good description. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
There's
I
one
try to
more.
get this.
There's one more thing, and there, yeah, no need to condense. This could be as long as it needs to. You know.
Oh, great. So, yeah.
One more thing that I want to do with both of you, actually. Tay doesn't even know this is happening because I literally just decided this like right in the moment. Because I recently did a podcast with a friend, shout out to Melissa if you see this, and she did something with me that I did not expect. So I'm gonna do it with you too as well. It is a sort of rapid fire questions. No real thought put into it, just the first thing that sort of comes to your head. Are we ready?
Yeah.
I
Great.
guess.
Uh, Favorite comfort show that you could watch forever?
911. Oh,
Um,
heated rivalry, actually.
Choice. It's a full choice. I I'm gonna say either Buffy or the Proud Family.
Ooh,
Ooh, the Proud Family is a good
two
It's
one.
a
very,
good one.
two
It's always a
very
That's
good one
different
on
a
mine.
ones
good
too.
one.
Two
Yeah.
very different shows. Okay. A show or a movie that inspires you creatively.
Um, hmm.
Inspired. Ooh, The West Wing. I always put on The West Wing when I want to like sit
Hmm,
down and write something. That gets me in a writing mood.
okay.
And a movie? Recently, I've been putting on Bring It On Fight to the Finish, and that like
Okay.
awakened something within me to like go up and get stuff. That's
Okay.
the vibe it's on right now. It's not usually that, but that's the vibe where it is now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have an answer for that one actually. Because I don't think if I'm looking for inspiration, I typically am not queuing up a show or a movie.
Mm.
Okay.
Um, yeah.
Okay. An album you think is perfect from start to finish.
Hi, I'm something to tell you.
Hmm,
I love Hyam.
do
I
like
love Hyam.
Probably Durant Bernard. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I knew
Durant,
you were gonna say that.
because I love him so much, and I do think that that was a great album. Yeah.
Okay. A fictional world you would live in for a week.
A fictional what are we defining as fictional?
Outside of ours, I guess.
Okay.
A world that exists in a movie, a TV show, a book,
Hmm.
something of that sort.
I wouldn't. I kind of like this reality. I feel like other realities are much more stress inducing
Hmm.
and very
Even if it's just a week.
Even if it's just for a week, I'm like, mm-mm. I like my life. I like this plane that I'm living on. Thank you very much. Good choice. I'll keep this one. Yeah.
Okay.
I do concur that like I do like our reality because obviously if we go into other ones, it comes with a whole lot of. I would probably dip off into Harry Potter though, or Shadowhunters.
Hmm, okay.
You said the Avengers?
No,
Oh.
Shadowhunter.
Shadow Hunters.
No,
Do
I would never dip off into the Avengers.
Okay. Okay. I was literally last night, I just watched Mortal Instruments, that movie, City of Bone. I've only seen it once in my life, and I'm like, I don't remember any of this happening. Also, what? And I haven't watched the show. So I'm like, are you talking about the book world or like the world of the whole thing?
The show mostly, and
Okay.
I also watched the movie too. They're kind of like the show changes a little bit, but for the most part, the show because I love the show.
Mm.
People hate it. Some people say it was terrible.
Okay.
It's my guilty pleasure. I do in fact like the show.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, probably the show. I did watch the movie. I don't remember that movie ever coming out like when I was younger, but also I was probably I think I was like a senior maybe
Yeah.
in high school when it came out. I think it was like 2013. But I don't remember the movie. I didn't know there was a movie. I did watch it and I was like, okay, this is cute, but yeah, it's
Okay, two more. A fictional character that you would hang out with any day.
um Magnus Bane.
Ooh.
Okay, same.
Yeah, Magnus Bane.
I I don't know. I don't have an answer for that.
Okay.
I do not know.
Last question. One show, movie, or album you wish you could experience again for the first time.
Hmm. Is it crazy to say Metamorphosis? The Hilary Duff album, the Metamorphosis album.
Not
Literally
crazy at
anything that
all.
you say here is not going to be crazy.
Not
Okay,
crazy
great.
at
Because I
all.
say Kids Bop 6. No, it's the Metamorphosis, the Lizzie McGuire
Okay.
Metamorphosis album.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
She
Um,
she is on tour right now. Or about to be.
yes. Actually, I need to be queuing up some ideas on where I'm gonna go see her at. What was I gonna say? Probably one of my favorite movies is Cloverfield. Do you know that the it's kind of like found footage supposed to be. It's really not. But like it was the way it's filmed is to show or to be like found footage. And it's basically like a dinosaur. No, it's an alien. It was an alien. Um at some point the egg dropped into the to New York in the water in New York and it ends up hatching and like you're following the story of these friends trying to survive throughout New York while the alien is just like fucking up the entire city. One of my favorite movies of all time. Some people hate it because like it's really shaky and
Mm.
grainy. Me, if it's anything that I will go back and rewatch, it's that. So I'm gonna give Cloverfield as my answer.
Well, shit. So it's sci-fi.
Yes.
Might have to
Gotcha.
yes.
And it's really good. It's a cute little story. Got a little love story in there. I don't really care for the love story, but I care for like all the things that they had to do to I'm Rachel, if you did not know, I'm somebody who I don't really like the mixing of a lot of things. If I want an action movie, I don't really care to add like a
Ah.
romance into it. And I don't like when they add it and like make it the focal. I came here to like see people shooting. I came here to see fighting. I didn't come here for the love story. So I really don't too much care for like the love story part of it, even though that I am an avid romance novel reader. I don't like the mixing of the two all the time. Sometimes they do it right, other times they don't. That one, like, it's okay, but for the most part, I like all that they have to go through to survive, and and it's really at times can be gory, and I love it. It's so good, and I'm off my.
I'm the complete opposite. I like when every genre in the world blends together. I like that it's like under like one, like this is a drama, but we also have these other things. Like I
Yeah.
get that it's a drama, but I like all the things like mixing together in like nice places.
I can I can get behind it when it's done right, but I think I've experienced so many times where it's just like it's clear
Yeah.
that you wanted to throw this in here to like attract a certain audience, and it's just like, and you could have did better.
Yeah,
You could have did better.
fully.
Thanks for playing. I know I just threw that in there randomly, but I appreciate it. All
Yeah, no
right,
problem. What do we win?
Right.
that is going to wrap our press play segment for this episode. And we are going to move right into segment number two takes, where we give you our hot, cold, lukewarm takes of any kind. You take what you want to take from our takes. Am I starting? Are you starting? Or would Rachel like to start?
You go ahead, Tim. You
Okay.
start us off, Tim.
Okay. So my take for this week is I think specific to really any show, any movie, anything that has fictional characters. And that is there's nothing wrong with hating a fictional character, even one that everybody else loves. It is not a personal attack on your taste or your personality. Maybe I just don't connect with
Mm,
that character in the same way that you do. Maybe I don't see myself in that character in the same way that you do. And that is okay. I am not a bad person. You are not a bad person that I know of. But it is okay to dislike something that everybody else seems to enjoy, especially if you have a valid reason for doing so. Now,
Yeah.
this is different, and we do need to draw the line at being a hater just for hater's sake. Okay?
mm,
We've talked about this before. Disliking something solely for the purpose that other people like it, that's not the same thing.
Same.
But if I have a valid reason for why I dislike a character, I don't connect with them, I don't see myself in them, that is okay. Doesn't make you any less of a fan than I am, or more.
mm.
Thank you.
Thank you at the end of sentence. I 100% agree. And it's also so crazy because I almost added it because I made a video about it. Um, Rachel, you watched The Pit.
Yes.
Yes. I hate Santos. And I genuinely, I hate her. I'm sorry.
I can understand that. Yeah.
And but I also think, and like people eat me up about not liking her. They say that like, oh, if you don't like the character, you just don't know her backstory, or like you just don't understand. Yeah, yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
Well, I understand, and I still don't like her. But I also think that like if she was a real person, and I told her I don't like her, I don't think she would care. I honestly don't think she would give two fucks if about people liking her or not liking her. But like I also would love people to she was the reason why I had started talking about it because I was like, I can hate her. No, it was Clary from Shadowhunters. I was like, I can hate her.
Mm.
I can hate her. It's okay to hate characters. That doesn't make anything. Yeah, it doesn't mean anything. I hate them. I agree 100%. Actually, because I'm a hate a character. Bad.
Every character is not written to be liked, and that's
No.
okay.
No, I agree about I'm halfway on Santos. I'm half and half with Santos. Cause like mostly it's just eye rolly. If I ever met her in real life, I'd be like, okay. And just kind of move on. But I'm just like, yeah, I get that. I would I would say which character are we talking about? Because I'm
Hmm.
just it just depends. It depends on the character. If it's like anybody from like Glee, there's reason to hate every single one of them. And also we kind of love that they're in this group because any other group and we would have to like divide and conquer and destroy them all by the daylight. So it's just like that. But it's like I also I don't know. Sometimes I'll hate a character just to hate a character, but it has to be in a fun way. It can't just be like they suck. Like what it's mostly what reaction am I trying to get out of this other person? Is it just like you love them so much and I have to let you know that that sucks. I don't like, you know what I mean? So it's just like it can't be just like I hate them forever, but like do it has to be fun to hate it. It
Mm.
has to be fun.
Some of the ones that came to mind when I wrote the take were Elena Gilbert. People really love her
Yeah.
over in Mystic Falls.
Yeah.
Um, I made a video about this one. Ooh, and they were eating me up bad. Derek Shepherd.
You don't like Derek Shepherd?
I'm so sorry. I don't. I don't. I
Okay.
don't. I thought that he was narcissistic.
He is.
No, he was a
I
He
thought
terrible
is.
that he
husband.
was a terrible husband to Meredith.
Terrible
Absolutely.
husband.
He wanted her to shine, but never brighter than him.
Mm-mm.
I was not moved
Yeah.
when that truck moved him. You know,
Yeah.
I was unfazed.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was they people don't like that I don't like Derek, but
I
sorry.
don't like Meredith either. Like they could have each other, quite
No.
honestly.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Because I was gonna ask you, were there any characters that came to mind for you that off the top you did not like or that you hated?
Me?
Yes.
No, I love everybody. What are you talking about?
Even
I
Penelope
don't know
Featherington.
what you mean. I have not a hateful bone in my body.
Even Penelope Featherington.
Penelope, do not come for
Yeah.
my girl Penelope. Do not come for my girl Penelope. She did a wrong thing. She's not a bad person.
Fair,
Those are two
fair,
different things.
Also,
fair.
she was like, what, 16? So it's like, there we go too. They're all played by 30-year-olds, so we think that they're
Yeah,
all 30-year-olds. But I'm like, if you tell me they're a 16-year-old, all I think is they look like a 16-year-old in this
fair,
world. Why are you all berating this child? But yeah.
fair.
Hmm.
Cool. Who's next?
Nobody. I hate no one.
If you say so, we'll believe you.
And, I'll take that. Um,
Yeah, we'll take it.
Peace, love, and
my
hair grease, man.
Say that again.
Peace, love, and hair grease.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Um, my take for today, I was gonna do one that was fanfic, it's right, but I would like us to also kind of like have a conversation about it. So I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. It's that, and it's not a hot take. It's just something that I'm sick of seeing or sick of advocating for. I feel like your supporting characters should have fully fleshed out storylines. I should not be guessing and trying to figure out everything about them. They are characters in the show, characters in the movie, supporting whatever. I want to know about them. I want to hear about them. I want to have a little back story. Like I get that there's a main character on the show. I get it. I love them. Whatever. I also want to know about the people that are like around them. I don't like to have a show where I know every single thing about the main character and this supporting character is just like there for the sake of being there. What we got? What we doing? What are
Hmm.
we talking about? Like what are you here for? Like I want to know. In particular, high potential. That was one of the topics on the last episode. There's a character on there. We know nothing about her besides just her being the partner of another detective and like what she does for him in his life. Know nothing about her, know nothing about her life, nothing at all. And it also sucks on top of that that she's a black woman, but I won't dive into that. But
Yep.
I would like for your supporting characters to actually have like fully fleshed out storylines. Doesn't mean we have to focus like all the time on them, but I think there are a couple of shows that did really well with having their main characters have a storyline and us follow them, but also including the storylines of their supporting characters or other cast members.
Hmm. I feel like one of the shows that did that really well was Grey's Anatomy.
Yes,
Mm.
that's the one
Regardless
that comes to mind.
of where it is right now. If you're still holding on in season 20, whatever the fuck,
39. Yeah.
like that hospital is gonna outlive us all. But I feel like that's something that they did really, really good in the beginning. Like
Mm.
very clear, Meredith Grey is the star, right? Like
Mm.
that is who we should be focusing on. But I feel like they did a really good job of like giving every other character around her a story, and
Yes.
specifically a story that wasn't necessarily connected to her. Like they all had their own lives, own situations going on, like that didn't involve her. Um, so I love that they did that.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah. Same. I do agree. I feel like ensemble shows do this a lot better than like ones that are just mainly focusing on like the main character and what's going on with them. But like if you have a supporting character and they're showing up in like 7 out of 10 episodes or are in like 3 to 5 scenes in however many like of the episodes that you have, like we should at least be seeing a progression of what's going on with them as well, because they exist in this world and the things that they do aren't just non-consequential to everything that's happening with the main character's life. Everything in a show is connected. So it's like if you're not if you're not moving it forward, then what's happening? Right? Like there were a couple of these characters on like the West Wing. There were like these two guys that were like I forget exactly what their job was, but they were always like together on the show. Like they were like whenever these two guys were on screen, it was like these two guys and that was like a running gag, but they were always going to have like an update on their lives and what their jobs were and how they were doing like anytime they would come around like every like 5 to 7 episodes, right? But like we saw the progression of what was happening. So yeah, I agree. If it's a TV show, so everything has like a reason and a rhyme to it. So like make sure that it has some story progression going on.
Mhm. Tay, you wouldn't know this because you haven't like gotten that far into the show, but Glee did that really well too.
Okay.
Yeah.
They really developed all of those side characters, whether I wanted to know about them or not. I did because they all had their own storylines, weaved into and they all sort of met at the Glee Club, but like outside of that, they all had their own things going on.
Hmm.
I'll
Okay.
actually challenge that. Everybody except Mercedes, and I'm still sick of
Mm,
it to
Another
this
black
yeah.
day.
woman.
To this
Huh?
day.
Another
Yeah,
black
another
woman.
black woman. Yeah,
Yeah.
Another black
completely.
woman. Hmm.
Yeah, I'm still sick of it to this day.
Yes.
Like they didn't give her one enough of a personality. Two, they like just kind of used her wherever they needed, like in opposition to the people that they actually cared about on the show.
Yeah.
I do not forgive them for that at
Hmm.
all.
Yeah. I would argue
But
they
yeah,
did the same thing to Mercedes Jr. Unique.
yeah, yeah, completely, completely and totally.
Mm.
I don't like that. I don't like
It
that
is a
at
good
all.
show though. You will enjoy the show. I think you will like the show, but keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
What season are you on?
I'm on the first one. I just started because
Oh, okay.
everybody was just like, well, Glee did this and Glee did that and Glee la la la, and they were just like, oh, I think you would like it. Mind you, I don't like musicals. I'm not a musical person at all, and
Fair.
so, because like everybody's stuck on Hamilton, I have not seen it because don't. I've heard the soundtrack though. That's something that I will say.
Yeah.
The soundtrack of Hamilton, that was a good soundtrack. I will hands down give that to them every time. But
Yeah.
I don't really like musicals that much. I think I'll like Glee though. So it's like I'm still on the first season and I've enjoyed the episodes that I watched. I also like that it's so chaotic. It's very chaotic. I feel like if it was on now, it would probably get canceled. But like
Oh yeah.
Could not make it today.
it could not make it
Could not
today,
make it today.
and I kind of love that. So
And
like I
everything
kind of
comes
love
back to
that.
Glee.
It really does.
Everything comes
Everything
back to
comes back to
Glee.
Glee.
Yeah.
Everything can be related to, associated with
Yeah.
Glee.
It was one of the most important television shows of the 21st century.
Yeah.
Like,
And I hate I
period, hands
missed
down.
it. I hate I missed it when like it was coming on. Because like there's just like a different feel in like when it's coming on and you're watching it.
Yeah.
Uh, but like yeah, I missed it and now I'm just like okay, I'm trying to get all of the references that everybody keeps saying and keep talking about. So yeah, but I'm very fresh into the Glee universe.
We'll
Hell yeah.
report back when she gets a little further in.
And watch the Glee Project. Watch it at the same time too
Uh,
when it comes up if you want to do that.
What is that?
It was so because Glee got to like the super phenomenon that it was, they needed new characters on the show. So when is Oxygen still around? The channel Oxygen?
I don't
so
know. I
I
know
have no
that Bad
idea.
Girls
I haven't been
Club.
on cable in a minute, but I think
Me
so.
either.
Okay. Well, they made this reality show called The Glee Project where the prize was you win a role on the show. So it was going into the third season. So between the second season and the third season, you'll like start seeing some of those characters show up, and they were people that won roles from the Glee Project. And it was like,
Hey.
yeah, basically that. It was a reality show competition thing. It was like you're auditioning for a role on Glee, and it was Ryan Murphy sitting with his notepad in an audience being like, "Tell me about you, and I'll make a character that's not you, but an exaggerated version of you." That's what was going on. But
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
you'll see all those people from that.
There's a whole
Okay.
like Glee cinematic universe. There's the
Yeah.
show, the Glee Project. There was a concert that
Yeah.
they had put on. Like it's a whole thing. Like you
That's
got
a
Yeah.
to
whole
experience
lot.
all of it.
Noted. Okay. I knew like it was really huge because I had a lot of people that like talk about it a lot. But like I didn't like musicals. I never got off into it and now I kind of regret not getting into it.
It was a moment.
Oh
It
yeah.
was. I've heard.
Hmm. Any other takes? Rachel, do you have a take that you would like to share?
Do I have a take? I this is less of a take, but because you said something about heated rivalry. I'm on episode 3.
Mm.
I have been struggling to watch this show. I am like I really can't get into it.
Tell us
Like
why. We got to know why.
because
What's going? How can we help
Yes,
you
let
get
me
through
know.
this? Okay, because we are
okay.
their biggest fans. So how can we assist?
It's like I when everybody was talking about this show, I'm like, "Oh my God, great. Another romance show. I love it. I miss those. Please God, more of those." I go into the show and it's just two guys who are just like angry fucking. And I'm like, "But no, but I just I wanted like a romance." And like until like zero spoilers, but like episode 3, which I'm on right now, like then finally a romance story like showed up. I'm like, that's
Yes.
what I thought that I was getting. Do
Mhm.
do I stay here? Do I like go somewhere? I had to take like 2 weeks off because I can't. I was just like, so you could have
Mhm.
done that with the first 2 episodes, but it's just these guys, and then the time jumps are everywhere. And also, I I love love that more books are getting turned into like other adaptations and everything. I think like it's great. I think they're kind of overdoing it now, even though they've been doing that for a while. But I love that we're doing that, but I would love it more if they would be more intentional about putting the story in a way where it's going to match what's going on screen, because reading a book and like watching a TV show are two completely different things. I
Yes.
think that the production of the show is what's saving the show. The way that it's shot is filling in all of those story holes and everything that was happening. So I'm like that is like saving most of the show for me, because if it was like if they did not shoot it the way that it was, if they weren't like if the production wasn't on it, I don't think that this would be like taking off as it is. And that's most of what it is. So in this case, I think like it's getting saved with that. But yeah, it's just mostly that. I'm just like I went into it thinking that I was going to be watching like a romance, a little bit of conflict, but who doesn't have that? But it was like it was no, it was just like he's just being an asshole to him. And I'm
They're
like,
all
"But do
conflict.
you like him?" I don't.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Now,
literally
Not to
just
ruin
that.
it. We're not going to spoil it for you,
Okay.
no.
but you
Yeah.
have to continue. You have to
Okay.
keep
Yes.
going. You have
Yes.
to get listen.
Okay.
And this is coming from a skipaholic. I love episode 3. Bad. Okay.
Oh,
I
he
Okay.
does it down.
injected into my veins. I love episode 3 so bad. But you have to continue.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. That not to spoil it, not to ruin it for you, not to tell the full story, but you have to continue. If the romance is what you're looking for, then
Yeah.
I think that you will
Okay.
find it post episode 3.
Okay.
I also
Okay.
will give it to you though. The time jumps are like crazy. And I think the only reason why like it wasn't that big of a deal for a lot of people or mostly for people who read the books because the time jumps in the
Yeah.
books are like
A
oh
lot.
we in 2008
Yeah.
December next time I see you we're
Yeah.
June 2009 like it's they're like that but like they pretty much are very much all conflict until a certain point so I do say continue with it but I can also see what you mean about the production saving the show. I have certain opinions about the book and the actual storyline,
Mm,
and the show does, in fact, do it justice. Um,
okay.
so I don't think you're wrong there. As a person who loves the showdown, I don't think that you're wrong there.
Okay. All
Please continue. I will be following
Please,
up.
because
I
I
will
wait,
be
because I
following
want
up.
to
Like,
know. I want to know after you finish it, like what. Yeah, I need
yeah,
to know. I need to. I've
I
gotten
will
so
be
many
following up.
people. I've gotten so many people that like wouldn't typically read or watch things of this sort to watch
right.
them and like come back and give me feedback. So I will be waiting because I want to know after you finish it, where do you land?
All right.
Cool. Well, that is going to wrap segment two takes, and we are going to move into our third and final segment, the reaction thread, our pop culture, current events, hot topics, ugh, Miss Wendy Williams segment
You
where
know,
we talk about current events, things that have happened as of recently in the news and fandom and media and whatever, and give our thoughts on it. And this week, we are tackling a topic that has been in the news as of late, especially when we're recording this, it is still fresh.
very
And
fresh.
that is the BAFTAs.
Yeah.
If you are unfamiliar with what happened with this situation, at the BAFTAs, which is an award ceremony, um, Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo were presenting an award. Um, and in the midst of all of this happening, there was someone in the audience who has Tourette's syndrome who, in the middle of them presenting this award, yelled out a racial slur. And it has been a hot topic, I think, because of one, because of the use of the racial slur, but two, because of the condition as well as the way that the show host sort of handled it, the response from it, and even as early as today, like things are still happening, like related to this incident, and like things are coming out, and it seems like people are taking sides, and so it's just been lot going on in that realm of media right now. Um, so yeah, that'll be our topic for today, and I would love to get your thoughts on it.
Yeah. Um, I think because it includes a disability, I think it's getting mixed up a lot of times that we're mad that someone with a disability was here or was able to like shout it out loud, or it's not that. We understand that somebody who has Tourette's cannot control it. We understand that part. It's more, where is the apology? And like that it took so long. And then the other part of it is that you left it in the edit and all of these other things. But it's just like we we get it. We get that if it's a disability where you really can't control it, it is one thing. That is still a word where the absolute cosmic convergence of somebody with that kind of a disability who says that word to the two black men who are on stage at that exact moment is so cosmically insane, one. But then it's just like apologize. Like it really probably could have been wrapped up in like one news cycle if they really were just like immediately like, we are so sorry. We apologize. We're not apologizing for the fact that there's a person with a disability. We are apologizing for the fact that that was the word that came out. There could have been so many other words or phrases that came out. That was the one that came out, and that's the one that we care about. So it's just like the apology and the fact, like, because at this point they've released a statement, right, of like, hey, we're sorry that this happened, but it was after so much like
Right.
pulling it out of them that it really was just like, we shouldn't have to tell you. You adult people who are running some kind of industry, something, you know right from wrong. We are not getting gaslit here. we know that that was wrong. You know that was wrong. Otherwise, why why would you leave it in? Why would you let that be a thing that happened? You have discernment. Now it just feels like you're doing it because you wanted to do it. So you
Right.
left it in because you wanted to leave it in. And that is just, it's completely unacceptable. One, it's just, it's wrong. And I don't understand why we have to sit here and try to convince you that that is a wrong thing in order to get an apology. You should get an apology because it was a wrong thing that happened. Like, we understand disability, but at the same time, apologize.
Yeah.
It really was just like, just that simple.
Especially because it wasn't live.
It wasn't
You
Wasn't
live.
and from
live.
what I heard, like he had said other things throughout
Yes.
the ceremony. So it's like clearly those were all
Edited
edited
out.
out. And I heard that they were editing out like winners saying like free Palestine. So it's like clearly you have editors who
Yeah,
can make something shake in the back room, and you chose to purposely
chose
leave
to do
that
it.
one in there.
Yeah.
It amazes me how people can have nuance about certain things and not
Mhm.
others. Like,
Yes.
why does it have to be one or the other? Why does it have to be, oh, if I feel like he was wrong, I'm shitting on the disability? Like, why can't it be both? Why can't I understand that this was involuntary? You do have a disability, but it was also wrong. You
Two
know,
things can be true.
Yeah.
right?
Two things can be true. I do think that like Rachel couldn't have said it any better. Actually, it's more so about the apology. Like you could have easily just been like, "Hey, this wasn't something we agree with. We want to apologize for to Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo, and also make it clear that we're not apologizing to for having someone in the audience that has Tourette's, but apologizing for that's the word that came out. That would have been quick and easy. Like quick and easy damage control. Also, you need to get back there in the editing room and figure out why they didn't decide to edit that out. Like that's really where we need to start at because y'all edited everything else out, but left that one in. Why is that? Why is that? And like you should apologize for leaving it in
Yeah,
as well. Like I'm confused as to why they don't feel that like apology was necessary or like yeah immediately feel like the apology was necessary like it coming out late it should have been immediate.
yeah,
I think that like when it comes to black people in certain spaces, we are
Mhm.
expected to accept a lot of things and not um and are kind of seen as undeserving of certain courtesies. And it was blatant in this sense. And I just feel like it could have been prevented. Like it we wouldn't still be talking about it had y'all immediately came out and just apologized.
yeah. And now the damage is done. It's
The
like
damage is
anything
done.
that follows
Yeah.
now, apology or otherwise, like
No.
it's too late. It's kind
Yeah.
of like the Sydney Sweeney effect. She when she was going through all that stuff, like she took this approach of, oh, if I just say nothing, it'll blow over.
Mhm.
No.
Mind you, if I was a white person and I was getting racial racism allegations, I'd be on live right this second to clear that shit up. Like, why would you want anybody, even if it's just one person, to think that of you? And now it's like, and then I think she came out maybe months later and was like, oh, I don't necessarily align with the blah blah blah.
Girl,
I'm like, girl, the damage has already been done. Like, especially now we live in a world of social media where like
yes.
anybody can say anything at any time of the day. So like why wouldn't you want to clear something up? Like, like of course like celebrities have publicists and things like that, but like, hey, I'm so sorry. Hey, that's
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 it.
that's not what I meant. Like it is so easy to just say like, hey, that's not me. That's not what I meant. That was, and it's like anything that comes out now, it doesn't matter, because the moment happened and it's already over, like the damage is already done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really sad that Delroy, I think, said, I don't know if it was like an interview of some kind, but he was like, I wish that they would have spoken
Said
to
something.
us or said something to us,
Yeah.
and it seems like, and I mean, shout out to them because they heard it. We know they
Yeah.
heard it, right? And
Yeah.
like the fact that they still stood there and did what they were supposed to do and presented their award, and then I'm assuming just like got off the stage was super professional, but it speaks volumes about the way that Black people have to navigate and conduct themselves in that space, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they would have been well within their rights to be like, what the fuck did you just say? And make a whole scene on that stage. And I bet you they would have cut that out. But they did
Right.
it,
Right.
like they kept it professional, did what they were supposed to do, and that was it. And like, I think that's where a lot of the conflict was coming from. It's like the emphasis of the care from the BAFTAs, right? Like you're giving all this care and concern and consideration to the person that said the slur. Yes, it was a disability. Yes, it was involuntary, but you don't seem to care about the people who were impacted by it. Let
Right.
alone anybody else who may have been black and sitting in that space. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
they were the two on stage and probably impacted the most, but there were probably a lot of black people in that space who I'm like probably even sitting at that man's table who were looking around like,
Wait a
what the
minute.
hell? You know? So it's just crazy. That was part of the issue was like the care and consideration and where it was placed.
Because it's like it's disheartening that you didn't feel like you had to make a public apology immediately to begin with, but also that you did not apologize to the people sitting in the room or to Michael B. Jordan or There were, if you didn't want to make it public, whatever, got it. But like him coming out saying after the fact that like he really wished somebody would have just said something to him, that's absurd to me. That nobody felt like they should, like, I feel like if it was an event that I had and somebody did some crazy shit like that and I've been like, oh my God, I'm so sorry that that happened, like it just, and I feel like it's easy was when you have empathy and compassion for like people, but I also think that like in spaces like that there's a lack of that when it comes to black people.
Yeah. And mind you, we found out after the fact. Like
Literally.
this wasn't live. This was like
This was
recorded,
not.
edited, and then posted. So I'm like, this happened who knows how long ago,
Yeah.
and they just had to sort of sit with that, you know?
Yeah. It just sucks. It really
Yeah.
sucks. Especially with Delroy Lindo, who is literally like a legacy actor,
Right.
and like that look you could see behind his eyes where he's like, is this gonna be have to be another moment where I have to
Right.
deal with it? It's just like, come on. Literally, come on.
Yeah.
I also think that like the response for some of the people that are online is also very disheartening because a lot of people just don't feel like an apology was owed, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
that's crazy. And they also feel like well, they're Twitter's a cesspool, anyways. So, but there are a couple of people on there that just were like making it about the guy having Tourette's to begin with. When that two things can be true,
Right.
like we understand that it is something that he cannot control, but in the same breath, an apology was owed.
Yeah.
Like some care and compassion should also be held for the people who had to endure that word being thrown at them
Yeah.
Yeah.
on a stage at it.
Right.
It's like actually like a, it's not just like we were on the street and like I heard like this is on a stage in front of everybody, and then instead of it being edited out, oh, I didn't even think about that too, like the humiliation behind it, like it being in the room and you hearing it while you're up there and you're having to present, but then also for it to again be played
Mhm.
for everybody to see. That's, and
Yeah.
an apology, people don't think that like that should be owed. Yeah, it should.
Yeah. No
Actually, a lot of
nuance.
things.
No new. The
Like
most common
none.
one that I see is, oh, you want him to apologize for having a disability.
No,
No, we don't want him to apologize
no.
for having a disability. We want him to apologize for what he said.
Like,
People apologize for things that they didn't mean to do all the time.
All the
Impact
time.
versus intent. Like so you can also you can acknowledge, hey, that I didn't mean to say that. It just came out, but you can also be sorry for it. You
Yeah.
know? Send me
I
some.
also like know nothing about Tourette's, so it's just like I have so many questions
Yeah.
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
just I
Send me some of those.
like literally.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I don't know much about that, but I do know apology was owed.
right.
I do know I do know something
Right.
should have happened immediately.
Right. And it
So
needs to be just as public and loud as that incident was.
yes.
No, no. Oh, we apologize in private. Don't send them no fruit basket, no
Yep.
flowers. Leave
Uh-uh.
Beyonce's florist alone. It needs to be a public turn that camera on and get to the I'm sorry's.
Yeah. Facts.
Cool. Well, that's gonna wrap up our third and final segment, the reaction thread.
Yes.
And that's going to wrap up this week's episode. Again, thank you all so much for being here. Rachel, we cannot thank you enough for being here. This has been such a fun episode, just as much fun as I thought it was going to be. Before we wrap up, can you tell people where to find you?
Yeah, so I'm on TikTok, Rachel Makes Movies and TV, and on Instagram, Rachel Makes Movies underscore and TV, and my YouTube channel, Rachel Makes Movies parentheses and TV. And you can, yeah, you can watch all my work there. I'm also part of a group called Cake the Ladder, which is a filmmaking game where we roll all these dice and we make 1 minute short films in a week or less. So there's a link to that also in my link tree. You can go and find that and all the films that I've done with that. And yeah, thanks for having me on. This was
Cool.
really fun, guys. I love talking about this stuff.
Thank you
Thank
again
you
for
for
being here.
joining.
We really appreciate it. Cannot wait for whatever your next short film is. We will be locked in. And thank you so much again for being here. And thank you all for listening, for watching, wherever you might be. Uh, Stay well. Times is hard. Like,
Like,
life's getting darker and darker every day. But yeah, and we will catch you on the next one. Bye.
bye.
Bye.